Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're starting with a story most of us know, at least on the surface, the story of Prophet Ibrahim, or Abraham, and that command about his son.
Right, a story that carries immense weight, and often it's taken very, very literally.
Exactly. But, sometimes the deepest truths aren't right there on the surface. They might be hidden beneath these familiar layers.
That's a great way to put it. These foundational stories, they might actually be allegories, full of internal meaning, just waiting for a fresh look.
And that's really our mission here today in this deep dive. We want to unpack a fascinating reinterpretation of these stories. We're drawing on some specific sources that, frankly, challenge the usual readings. Our goal is to uncover the internal, the philosophical, maybe even the personal insights in these narratives. We're moving past the literal to find things relevant for your own growth. And it really kicks off with one specific word, dabaha.
Ah, yes, dabaha, that's central. It's
Right.
the Arabic word dabaha, often translated as to slaughter or to sacrifice. But think about this. The sources we're looking at really emphasize two core divine attributes. Adl, which is perfect justice, and Ihsan, meaning excellence, benevolence, doing what's beautiful.
Justice and benevolence. Got it.
So if you hold those up, a literal command for fasha, that's evil or indecency or munkar wrongdoing, like, killing a child, it presents this immediate, pretty profound contradiction.
Right. It just doesn't seem to fit, does it?
Exactly. It makes you stop and ask, what else could dabaha possibly mean? What deeper meaning aligns with that idea of divine perfection and justice?
Okay, so it really forces a re-examination.
Yeah.
The divine nature's justice is benevolence. What's the alternative here? What does this reinterpretation suggest dabaha implies instead?
This is where it gets really interesting. According to these sources, dabaha isn't about physical slaughter at all. It actually means to submit, to yield, or to be subjected to.
Submit. Yield.
Yes, it's framed as a metaphorical act. Think of it as one thought or one idea yielding, submitting to a higher, more evolved understanding. It's an internal process, an intellectual submission, really.
Wow, okay. So if we take that meaning and apply it back to Ibrahim's story, the vision where he sees himself slaughtering his son, his bunaya, that's not literal. What does bunaya represent then?
Right. Bunaya isn't just son in this context. It refers more to the thoughts, the ideas, the knowledge that someone has painstakingly built up over time, like a cherished intellectual construct or a deeply held belief system you've formed.
Ah, okay. Like something you've personally nurtured and developed.
Precisely. So Ibrahim's vision in this light represents the profound need to submit his existing intellectual frameworks, his accumulated knowledge, to a higher, more evolved understanding that's coming to him.
So it's about letting go of old ideas for new ones.
Exactly. It's the essence of what we sometimes call learning and unlearning. It's not just adding new facts, but actively, sometimes painfully, dismantling old frameworks to make room for real progress, for updated truth.
That makes sense.
And the dream itself, the Manam Ibrahim has, the source suggests it's not necessarily a literal sleep dream either. It's more of a thought-based dream, a deep internal realization, almost like a vivid moment of clarity or a goal crystallizing in his mind.
That completely shifts the focus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From this very physical external act to an intense internal intellectual, maybe even spiritual struggle.
It really does.
And this reinterpretation, does it stop with Ibrahim? Or can we see this pattern, this idea of metaphorical slaughter in other stories, like the story of Pharaoh supposedly slaughtering male infants?
Oh, absolutely. It extends there, too. I mean, just pause and consider the practicalities. A ruler literally killing all male babies in a whole kingdom. Logistically, it's almost unthinkable, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems incredibly impractical when you think about it that way.
So the source pushes us, again, beyond that literal surface. The deeper meaning here is symbolic. This narrative illustrates how our own ego, our arrogance, that feeling of, I know enough, my way is the only way, can metaphorically slaughter.
Slaughter what exactly?
Slaughter new ideas.
Yeah.
It prevents the growth of emerging wisdom, new perspectives. It's about how clinging rigidly to what we already think we know can completely stifle intellectual and spiritual progress.
So Pharaoh becomes less of a specific historical figure and more of a symbol of a mindset.
Exactly that. Pharaoh embodies that mindset that just refuses to accept new knowledge. It digs its heels in, and that leads to stagnation, prevents personal progress. It's like allowing those first, maybe outdated thoughts you built up to block any newer, better understanding from taking root.
We've probably all encountered that internal pharaoh, haven't we? That resistance to a new perspective, because it challenges what we currently hold.
Definitely. When someone presents a different view and that gut reaction is just, nope, my way is fine, this interpretation kind of invites us to spot that resistance in ourselves and hopefully choose growth instead, choose to let the new idea live.
This idea, internal states, seems crucial, and our sources bring up a foundational concept related to this. Al-Mu'ataba ad-Datiya. Did I say that right? The Quran's address being an internal dialogue.
Yes, precisely. Al-Muhataba ad-Datiya. It means the conversation in the text is often directly with oneself, an internal back and forth.
How does that play out? Can you give an example?
Well, think about terms we usually see as external groups, like Kumutuba or Yehudi, Nazarani, Jews, and Christians. In this view, they don't just refer to people out there. They can represent internal states of being or particular thought patterns within us.
So, internal conflicts or ways of thinking.
Right. For instance, when Ibrahim is described as Hanif Muslim, it signifies he was free from those kinds of internal conflicts or divisions. He'd resolved them within himself. And similarly, when Musa or Moses speaks to his father, that could be seen as an internal conversation with his own developing self, his inner being.
Okay, that's fascinating. What about a term like Banu Israel that's so often linked to a specific people, a lineage? How does the internal dialogue idea apply there?
That's another really key reinterpretation. Banu Israel, often translated children of Israel, isn't necessarily about a specific historical nation in this deeper sense.
Yeah.
The root word bana means to build.
To build.
Yes. So Banu Israel, in this context, refers to anyone who actively builds divine knowledge through a journey of wisdom and understanding. It universalizes it.
So it could apply to anyone striving for that kind of insight, including, the listener.
Absolutely. It becomes about the internal journey of constructing wisdom, building understanding piece by piece. It's not about an exclusive bloodline, but an inclusive path of intellectual and spiritual building.
So the focus consistently comes back inward. It's not about pointing fingers at external groups, but recognizing these patterns, the resistance, the building within ourselves. It sounds like the whole point is deeply introspective.
It is profoundly so. The source material really emphasizes that this isn't about condemnation or judging others at all. It's about swayam therutho and swayam samskaraka peduka, which means self-correction and self-refinement.
Looking inward for improvement.
Exactly. It's a clear call for introspection. Think about Ibrahim's journey again. It's described as the step-by-step process of elevation, moving from just nazar, which is like a surface gaze, just looking at something, to rihiyat, that's more like spiritual vision, a deeper insight, and finally reaching basarat, which is profound inner sight, true discernment. It's a ladder of understanding built internally.
A real progression of awareness. And I think the sources also mentioned the hudhud, right? The hubo bird in Suleiman's story, another symbol.
Yes, briefly, but it fits the pattern beautifully. The hudhud is interpreted as representing hidayah, guidance, or more specifically, thoughts that have the ability to travel to higher levels of understanding and bring back valuable insights. Like a messenger from your own higher consciousness, if you will.
So these stories are just packed with these internal metaphors.
They really are, according to this perspective, all pointing towards self-awareness and growth.
Now, given how deep and, introspective this all is, who is this kind of interpretation really for? It doesn't sound like something that would click with everyone immediately.
That's a fair point. You're right, it probably resonates most strongly with those who are already engaged in a deep self-reflection, people who constantly question their own assumptions, their own understanding.
People looking beyond the surface.
Exactly. Those seeking to move beyond just the external beauty, the literal story, to uncover the internal beauty, the deeper philosophical meaning. It speaks to individuals who are comfortable with and actively engaged in that process of learning and unlearning, constantly updating their viewpoints.
So the intellectually curious, the ones willing to really dig deep into a story.
Precisely. Those who crave that kind of transformative insight, rather than just accepting the surface-level reading.
Well, this has been a truly fascinating deep dive. It really does reframe these incredibly ancient narratives, doesn't it? Turns them into blueprints for our own internal development. So just to recap the core idea, stories like Ibrahim's sacrifice, Pharaoh's decrees, they can be read as these profound allegories for our inner struggles, our intellectual evolution. And that word dabaha, it's not literal killing, but the vital act of submitting old, maybe limiting ideas to newer, higher insights within ourselves.
And that's not just abstract philosophy. It has a very direct, very profound relevance to your own life, to how you navigate the world. Those Pharaoh moments of resistance, or those Ibrahim moments of courageous submission to a better understanding, they happen inside us all the time.
Every day, probably.
Yeah, likely. We constantly face that choice. Do we cling stubbornly to what we think we know? Or do we allow our understanding to evolve, to yield to something higher? It's an ongoing process of refinement.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? If these ancient sacred stories are actually these detailed maps of our inner world, what other hidden wisdom might be waiting in the narratives we encounter every single day? Not just in Scripture, but within ourselves and the world around us.
That's the question to ponder.
How does looking at things this way maybe transform your whole understanding of what personal growth really means, and maybe even how societies progress or get stuck? Lots to think about there.